We are live. Welcome back to the Billy and Andre Show, the only show that will make you say, oh look, it's Billy and Andre, and for some reason they've taken all their clothes off and are running through the streets. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, that sounds like a good Saturday night.
It does, right?
Yeah,
you know?
It's like that's what happens every time.
If it does happen to that every time, then you might have a more serious problem besides the booze, but you know.
No, man, it's about religion.
It's your religion to run streaking through the streets.
Yeah.
We love talking about scams and conspiracies and, you know, wild sort of shit on this show. Let's tackle the biggest one ever, the Bible.
Yeah. That sounds like a... Of course, that's how you start this. Okay.
It is, because let's be honest, most of organized religion is just a money-making scheme for people who don't have any talent but want power and respect anyway. That's just kind of the truth.
So it's The Daily Show.
Oh, Jon Stewart?
Yeah.
I don't understand the connection you're making there, dude. I'm not going to lie.
Because it's not really good, and... People tune in every single night for some reason.
I don't mind the Daily Show when Jon Stewart's doing it. It's just, you know, when he's not doing it, it's terrible. He's like the only part of that show that works, really.
No, it's just random. Oh, I mean, this whole podcast is just random bullshit. That's what he does.
Yeah, that's true.
But he's actually famous.
And, like, successful.
And somebody
known.
actually pays him to do it.
Yeah. He's had a long career in comedy.
Can we stop making this very sad? Can we move on?
By comparing ourselves to Jon Stewart, yeah. So... You may have noticed something of a TikTok trend that developed recently. I only noticed it because it was big enough to filter out outside of TikTok. I myself do not engage with TikTok because I like having my brain not be made out of soup. So on TikTok, for the last sort of month or so, about a month or so ago, a bunch of people started making predictions about the Rapture.
Yay. Well, how did they get there?
What do you mean? Like, how did they start thinking about it?
Yeah, how did TikTok end up talking about the Rapture? Like?
Because of a South African man who posted a video on YouTube.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So he wasn't even posted on TikTok?
Nope, it was posted on YouTube, but all of a sudden the Christians on Rapture Talk, as it became known, hashtag Rapture Talk, suddenly believed this guy who claimed to be a prophet or whatever, and started preparing for the Rapture by selling all their shit. Saying, oh, well, I don't need my car anymore, so I might as well give it away. I don't need my house anymore, so I might as well sell it. Stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, quite a lot of people posted videos like crying because they were like selling all their stuff, but they knew that the Rapture was going to happen soon, so they were just like, oh, please, hurry up. And
where's these people? I wanted to buy their stuff. How did I miss out on
those
this?
people were in the TikTok comments saying, hey, I'll take that shit off your hands.
I would have taken that shit off their hands.
Yeah,
how did I miss that, dude? I could have had so much shit.
I know. I doubt. I question if some of them were authentic or some of them were like satire. You know, it's hard to tell through TikTok because unless you really know a person, like you've watched their content over and over, it's hard to tell if they're being serious. But some of them did seem genuinely very, very serious about it. They were certain that the Rapture was going to happen on the 23rd of September 2025, which is a couple of Wednesdays ago. As you may remember, it didn't. It didn't happen.
What was I doing on the 23rd of October?
I was working. I'm not sure about you.
I was working in the evening that day.
Yeah. See, did you see anyone disappear into the sky or holy cloud?
Just that normal drunk guy that always is. He's there and then all of a sudden leaves a half full pint and he's just gone.
Yeah.
So it's always a miracle he ends up home and coming back.
It's a miracle he hasn't got barred yet either. But
no, he's fine. He doesn't make any noise. He's just there sitting, drinking, disappears.
Well... He should have been making noise if there was the Rapture, because the Rapture, for some reason, like, I decided to sort of look through and sort of try and define what the Rapture was, because everyone knows the word Rapture, right? We've all heard it, But what does the Bible actually say on it?
Can't remember.
That's because it's not fucking in there. Okay, so I looked up, like, Christian websites saying, this is the biblical description of the end times. There's about 5 to 10 sort of verses in the Bible that can loosely be called rapture sort of things, like stuff like the trumpets will sound, the earth will upheave, the Christians will go and join the Lord Jesus as he shines down upon them or something like that. But it's the Bible. It's really fucking vague.
Okay, but it's meant to be vague, so you can interpret it however you want, so you can manipulate people in the best way possible.
Yes, it's basically like tarot cards for that exact reason. Horoscopes. Have you ever noticed they're so vague that it's just like
But
it doesn't mean anything, could apply to anything, you know?
But that's how you can lie to people, because if you just don't tell them anything,
Yeah.
just use words. Basically, what Donald Trump is doing and Keir Starmer at the moment.
We'll get to that.
Oh, no way.
Hold that thought, buddy.
Okay, I'll keep it to you.
So the Bible, you know, what verses there are that sort of allude to the end times or the rapture and shit like that. Most of it, you know, it doesn't contradict itself, but like they don't all mention the same things. One thing that's universal is the Christians being sucked up to heaven by God, obviously. The other one is
Christians being sucked up. Go on.
I could have said sucked off to heaven, you know.
I heard what I wanted to hear. Shut up. Move on.
The other one is trumpets. I don't know why. That they all say a trumpet will sound. That is the most common sort of theme running like between all of these is the theme of trumpets. I don't know. Maybe God's just into third wave ska. I'm not entirely sure what he's doing, but apparently it's always trumpets, and I don't get it because whenever it's drawn, like in the illustrated Bibles of the world, the Rapture is always depicted as a guy with a bugle, which is not a trumpet. They are completely different instruments.
Okay, I don't know what the bugle is. Isn't it?
The military one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the piper at the gates of dawn or whatever is supposed to be a bugler, but
Not the pipe, not a
trumpeter. Yeah.
Okay.
But apparently it's going to be trumpets will sound, not tubas, not trombones, trumpets.
Do you think the bugles were called trumpets back in the day, and that's just a misinterpretation of the word?
It's the Bible, so it's been translated 50 times into like 8 different languages, most of which don't exist anymore. So probably, you know, I mean, like, what the fuck, you know, did the Apostle Matt know, you know, the difference between a trumpet and a bugle? No, I don't think he did. Neither did Luke. Saul might have, because he was the, you know, the crafty one, but still.
I'm just sitting here on the sideline thinking, are you going to get to a point about the trumpets? You going to have something to say about the trumpets?
Wait for it.
Okay. Oh my god, dude, today you're just not let me...
No, I'm not going to let you finish before I say so, bitch.
Excuse you. Go on.
So, earthquakes and storms are only mentioned in a couple of the verses. That's the Book of Revelation, because the Book of Revelation is full of that shit. It's very, very drama queeny. The only thing that, you know, part of the sort of rapture mythos that sort of arose, like, as we'll learn out, you know, since the 1830s, part of the rapture sort of mythos is that only the good Christians will be taken along, and the bad Christians and sinners will be left behind. Only in one verse is that even alluded to, and that's in the book of Luke, which is like, I can't remember the exact chapter and verse, but basically that's the only one that says one will be taken and one will be left behind. And it's sort of vague about why. It doesn't say, yes, the sinners will be cast down and marked with the beast or whatever. That's all shit that people just made up. That's just never in the Bible.
Wasn't it in the Satanic Bible?
What, Satanic verses?
Yeah, because they do have...
That was written by a fiction author, man.
I know he did, but the thing is, the man did his homework. So he looked at the climate he started writing it in. And it's very religious forwards, as in, yes, it's written by the devil for the devil kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? But he studied religion really well.
Oh, Salman Rushdie, yeah, he did. Yeah. He pissed off a lot of people with that book. I
liked that book.
I think
it was a good book. Good fiction, like the Bible. Well, the Bible's not even good fiction.
No, the Bible is not well-written fiction. It doesn't really link together. I don't know why the numbered passages were necessary, but there you go. But yeah, the modern sort of rapture idea was kind of come up with in the 1830s, like most dumb shit that we still believe was. And can you guess where it was kind of come
America,
up with?
America.
Of course.
That's not even a question. I don't know why you thought that was a game. Like, that was like, oh, he's never going to get this. It's America.
Yeah, it was America.
Yeah,
90% of the people we're going to be talking about are from America, and the ones that aren't are even weirder. But we'll get to those in a second. So there's a lot of sort of disagreement about what the rapture actually means, or at least there used to be. People couldn't decide whether it's like the second coming of Jesus or like it's God ending the world. Sometimes it's both. Sometimes it's just one or the other. Some people describe the rapture as, you know, the new person who is Jesus has arrived and he's working on earth or whatever. And then, you know, after, you know, at some point, the millennium of rule by the righteous, rule by like good Christians for taking over the world sort of thing. That's one sort of version of the rapture. The other one is, marked by the beast. All us sinners will, fuck off, to hell or whatever, and only the good Christians will be summoned up to heaven.
Keep on saying the good Christians. So even if you are a Christian, there is a chance you're not going to get into heaven.
Well, that's why these guys kept selling their stuff on TikTok or giving it away or whatever. Because they
wanted to be so you're trying to just buy it like last minute. You're like, I know I killed a guy, but you know what I mean. I'll just give my car away and I'll be fine because I gave my car away.
Yeah, it's like Cartman in that. The thing is, you're not really doing a charitable act if you're giving a car away to someone who's not going to be able to use it in 2 days. That's not charity.
No, it isn't. I think they're going also on the idea that so when Jesus Christ was on the cross and I think it was to his right was the thief. And he repented his sins, he ended up going to heaven. So I think they're going on that idea. It's the last minute I can repent at the end. I'm like, dude, that's a religion is BS. But if you look from the perspective of Jesus Christ at that point, the guy actually repented. The guy was like, yeah, I really regret stealing, man. And he's like, all right, cool, man. You come up with me.
He's been nailed to a bit of wood. Of course he regrets stealing. If you nail me to a bit of wood for any reason, I'll regret and repent whatever the fuck you want. Like,
just let me go.
Just let me down for this piece of fucking wood. Thank you. Luckily, crucifixion isn't a thing that's done anymore.
Is it?
I don't think so. I haven't seen it done. It's kind of difficult to miss. It sticks out the ground.
Okay.
But yeah, most of the sort of modern rapture stuff was sort of began in the 1830s with a man called Miller. The Millerites, they were called. Miller did some sort of like, they call it numerology, where it's like you try to prove the existence of God with maths. You're shaking, you're nodding because you've heard that term before.
I read the book about numerology.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's insane, like wizard logic. I don't know how it works.
The thing is, a guy, I was still in school, right? Millennia ago. Right? I was still in school and I was doing a professional school, which I did my technician in construction degree, whatever. It's not a degree, it's just a qualification. And there was one guy, he came from the villages because my hometown it's fairly big, but everybody from the villages come to the town to actually study anything because you don't have like professional schools in the little villages. And he came with his book with him.
Oh, no.
It was a numerology book, but he's Christian, but a weird sort of sect of Orthodox Christian that, I don't know. And he's like, oh, this is great, because if you put this together with this together, it makes this number, and this is the reason he got this number.
Yeah.
And I read through it, because I like numbers, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
This doesn't add up maths-wise or sense-wise.
No, math-wise it did add up. Right? Because you could make up a number and add that to another number and it will make up whatever number you want.
Yeah. Like, it's like the number 23 movie, basically.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that?
It's insane.
But basically what Mr. Miller did, he came up with a bunch of sort of rationalizations and based on a bunch of weird from the book of Job and shit like that. A bunch of Old Testament numbers, a bunch of New Testament numbers, and then a bunch of historical dates of when Persian kings built temples or something.
Okay.
I don't entirely follow his logic, but he decided, and he worked out that the world was going to end and Jesus was going to come back and make the world his kingdom in 1844. In America.
Of course it did.
Because of course. In fact, New York specifically. Yeah, that didn't happen, obviously, in 1844. So everyone started immediately arguing and, trying to figure out if Miller had been wrong or if Jesus had come back and, nobody knew.
He just forgot to message everybody.
Yeah, he just forgot to tell everybody. Yeah,
okay.
They forgot to play the trumpet, basically.
They couldn't find a good trumpet player.
They couldn't find a good trumpet player. Jazz hadn't been invented yet.
Yeah, so that's your problem.
Yeah, right? Louis Armstrong wouldn't be born for another 90 years or whatever, so...
So he just got it wrong by 90 years.
Yeah, they should have just waited for Louis, man, and he would have heralded that shit perfectly.
It would have been a great... that would think WWE, right?
Yeah.
They come on stage. That would have been great.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Lord and Savior, Jesus!
Yes.
El Savior Christ!
I like how you added the El Savior.
I think I nicked that from somewhere. But whatever. This entire event in 1844 was called The Great Disappointment. which is a bit like calling the First World War the Great War, you know? You just assume that nothing's going to be as disappointing as this, so you just call it the Great Disappointment.
Well, they did call it the Great War because they didn't know another one is coming.
Yeah, because they were dumb fucks. They hadn't seen the patterns of history, unfortunately. And neither did Mr. Miller. He later revised his date to, I believe it was like 6 months later, and then a few weeks after that. And after a while, people started noticing that, this guy's not getting it right. So... Obviously. The Millerites sort of had a massive argument with themselves, and they became, they eventually, they carried on, and they renamed themselves the Advent Movement, which you may recognize as the source of the Seventh-day Adventists.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, these guys are still around today. I will warn you, you'd be actually quite surprised how many modern sort of sects of Christianity, like Protestant Christianity...
Oh, dude, they're... So many.
It's literally fucking all of them. They're all built on doomsday cults. Yeah. Literally all of them.
But because we had this conversation when we were talking about cults a few episodes back.
Yeah.
All religion was a cult to begin with.
Pretty much.
Christianity was a cult to begin with. So, yeah, I can see that happening.
Yep.
Well, for all we know, around the corner there's a cult being formed, and that's going to be the next big Christianity.
Yeah, it could be the Trump cult of the weasel or something. Like, who fucking knows?
Please don't.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get there. So, the Seventh-day Adventists were kind of the first, but at the same time there was another Christian movement forming in, of all places, Iran, called the Baha'i movement. And they believed that Mr. Miller had actually been correct, and their prophet, their particular, person that they followed, a fellow called Bab, that was all. That was the name. Just Bab.
Sausage Bab.
Yeah, literally. No, Bab with a B, not with a P. But they thought that, Jesus has returned, Miller was right, and it's this guy. And that movement still exists today. There's 8 million of them. Yeah.
So are they Christian or they're Muslim?
They're Christian in predominantly Muslim countries, which is difficult for them, as you can imagine.
It sounds extremely difficult. It's like playing, really hard mode gaming.
Literally. It's like this is Cult of the Lamb on maximum difficulty. One of the things I should point out is that a lot of the sort of signs that the rapture is coming, right? The earthquakes, the storms, a lot of them, also, a lot of rapture sort of theologists, they also point to the persecution of Christians. The problem is, Christians are always saying they're being persecuted. Literally always. Literally everywhere. It's part of their myth, their mythos,
Well, aren't Christians persecuted by other Christians as well?
So, yeah, all the time.
Because they're part of their own cult, so...
It started several wars,
Yeah.
But then, so this sort of, predicting of the future carried on. I turned out I was sort of slightly off when I said that the first one was the Seventh-day Adventists. The Methodists actually pulled this shit about 5 years before. The very founder of the Methodist sect of Christianity predicted it would end in 1836. So...
Isn't that the beginning of this? No, 18, sorry. Never
yeah,
mind.
yeah.
18, not 19.
No.
I was ahead of time, sorry.
We've got a long way to go before we even get to the 1900s, dude.
Okay.
So... Next, there was a man called George Rapp, who started the Harmony Society. He predicted that Jesus Christ would come back to Earth within his lifetime, literally as he was dying. He was laying on his deathbed, and he said, Jesus is still going to return in my lifetime. He was 89 at the time. He died in 1847. No, he did not meet Jesus.
Okay, I was about to ask. Oh, he did meet Jesus. He did meet Jesus, but after he died.
Hypothetically, he could have, yeah. According to him, But he said that Jesus would come back to Earth, and it did not. The Harmony Society still technically exists. It's just sort of renamed itself a bunch of times. I haven't really followed that one.
I feel like they keep on renaming themselves because it's like, you need to get a following on YouTube to start actually having something.
And occasionally you rebrand.
You rebrand. Like, there's example of people trying to rebrand themselves, but this is what they do in real life. Yep,
this is... That's what we call Christianity, like a giant scam and conspiracy, because you have to rebrand it every once in a while. Otherwise, people stop falling for it, It's like people stop calling them pyramid schemes and started calling them MLMs or whatever. Multi-level marketing companies,
But it's still illegal to do an LLM.
Still illegal, but they keep changing the name, so eventually, like for a couple of years before they notice, it won't be illegal for a while.
That's true. Actually, in Romania, there's still a very powerful LLM company going, something with oils, BS.
Oh, essential oils or something?
Essential oils. Yeah, that's a massive one.
Avon is still a thing. I mean, Avon basically does that.
Oh, they did, actually.
Yeah.
Allegedly, they're LLMs.
Allegedly. Don't sue us, Avon. Thank you very much. Good save.
No chance.
The next guy the next sort of semi-big guy who predicted the end of the world, John Morris. Have you ever heard of John Morris?
From Morrison Cigarettes, or?
No, not quite close, but not quite. That's Philip Morris. But no, the John Morris was leader of the Morrisites, which were an offshoot of the Mormon Church of Latter-day Saints.
Oh, what, did the Mormons get a sect as well?
The Mormons have several breakaway sects, yes. Like,
shut up.
Yeah, a bunch of them went down to Mexico.
Obviously, they did go back to Mexico.
A bunch of them went to Mexico to live in the desert in compounds, and they still exist there to this day.
But you know why they went back to Mexico, right?
Multiple wives.
No. So
No, it's because the US banned bigamy, so they left.
But no, so basically the way so when Jesus Christ came to earth, for normal Christianity, they said after he went back to heaven, he went to the Americas, and in sort of Mexico region, that's where he first visited.
Is that where he also got the name Jesus?
Jesus is just
just a name that you
just right. Oh, I did just move on. Anyway,
yeah. So this radical Mormon breakaway guy, he told his entire following to not plant crops in the year of 1861 because there would be no point, because the rapture was coming. So they didn't plant crops, and they all had to leave because they ran out of food, funnily enough, when the rapture didn't happen. So that kind of put a damper on things.
I still don't get it. How can you be so oblivious to like...
Oh, we'll get to the why of how this works, but there's still more. A couple of years later, a guy called John Rowe, founder of the Christian Israelites, he predicted the world would end in 1863. It didn't.
Honestly.
The Christian Israelites aren't really a thing anymore, but there's still like a very small pocket of them somewhere. Here's a big one. Have you ever heard of a guy called Charles Taze Russell?
No.
He was the founder of a little group called the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Shut up.
Yes, they were a doomsday cult as well. He predicted that the world would end in 1874, and then 1875, then 1878, then 1914, then 1918, and then 1925. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. 6 times by one dude with one religion, and the religion just kept on growing. People just...
It's insane. But didn't they have that thing saying that only a certain amount of Christians will go into heaven?
Yeah, they just can't agree on who, you know?
Yeah, so basically what you're saying to me, there's a certain amount of spaces available.
Yeah, it's like 11,000 or something. It's not very many.
No, and then there's like 6 million of them. How are you gonna get... Why we... Like, I would... If I would be like believing in this, right? I'll be going to church and be like, listen, dude, why am I still here? I'm pretty sure there were 11,000 people before me that were really good. There's no point for me because there's no more space for me.
Yeah.
Might as well sin.
It's like being like... It's like being the 251st member of Heaven's Gate, but like there's only space on the rocket for 250. It's like, well, what am I doing here? Am I
well,
just
why
like...
am I still here? Like, I should just, just go on a murder.
You guys are going to build another rocket, right? Right?
No, so no rocket, cool. I'm over there murdering. See you later. I just want to try it. Probably not going to be good, but
I'm going to stab.
Well.
I'll tell you what, you probably would have murdered another member of Heaven's Gate, so you would have a seat on the rocket ship.
But then he wouldn't be a good Christian, so he couldn't get.
You're right.
So
you're
you
right.
already don't have the spice. So you might as well go on the murder spree.
But yeah, the Jehovah's Witnesses are big into their end time proclamations. That's kind of what the name even means. Like, we're going to be witness to the end times. We are here to witness, that kind of thing. Charles Taze Russell was like one of the more obvious con men of the day. I don't know why people didn't notice this, but the fact that he just kept changing his prediction literally the day after it didn't happen, and like, it's like, oh yeah, just give it an extra year, an extra 2 years, an extra couple decades, so I don't have to do this shit all the time. Like,
just give me your money.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, his church grew to massive, massive scale. Everyone knows what a Jehovah's Witness is, aggressive door knocking, very, very predatory, usually wearing quite nice suits when they knock on your door.
Because they need to look nice when they try to sell you bullshit.
Yeah, I nearly got... I answered the door from Jehovah's Witnesses at like 7 o'clock on a Sunday when I was like 10, and my dad just poked his head like down, like out of his bedroom and went, "Fuck off and witness somewhere else."
Or you're going to be witness to my balls.
I assume that was the next line, but they left as soon as they heard the words "fuck off." They have a very strict protocol about like if someone tells you to fuck off, you're not going to convert them. You're just not going to.
Yeah, there's no point in having an argument.
No, there isn't. Now this next one's a little bit strange. Okay, you might have to go with.
Wow, I'm like the rest of them. They weren't strange at all, Bill.
Oh yeah, all of this is totally normal.
That was absolutely normal. The rest of it.
But this one's even weirder. So, have you ever heard of a thing called the ghost dance movement?
Was that in the 60s?
No, this is still in the 1800s.
I don't know. I'm just making shit up.
The ghost dance movement. It's still American. It's still from the 1800s, but it's actually Native American. So a lot of
we're changing flavors now.
We are.
It's no more Christian. Or is it still Christian?
It's still Christian.
Oh god damn it!
Yeah. Here's the thing. When America was doing its America thing and becoming America by genociding all the people who used to live in America. They tried their best to sort of, say, oh, well, natives, of all tribes, if you just convert to our religion, then we would have no reason to fight with you. We don't want your land. We just want you to accept the words of Jesus Christ. And a couple of them did. And there's a few sort of tribes and smaller splinter tribes or whatever that sort of did. One of them was the fellow who founded the ghost dance movement.
Okay.
He had a vision, I quote him, saying, during a solar eclipse on January the 1st of 1898. And he said that the rapture and the second coming of Jesus were going to occur in 1890. And in order to prepare for this, they must make themselves holy by doing the ghost dance, which is like basically a fusion of like traditional Native American beliefs and like Christianity.
Okay.
So they're basically doing like a
so
rain
lots
dance
of
for God.
A lot of drugs. Because they used to smoke the pipe, man, and I heard that shit was fucking strong.
I mean, they invented peyote. They just got, they knew what they were doing.
So that's like Christianity on drugs, man. Great.
Yeah,
sign
perfect.
Sign me up.
This like movement built within the sort of Native American community. It got quite big, and of course, instead of respecting the Native Americans' right to practice their weird form of Christianity, the Wounded Knee Massacre happened in 1890 instead of the Rapture. So a bunch of them did go to heaven, but because the Americans shot them.
That's horrible, though.
Yeah, it really, really is. It's the massacre at Wounded Knee is a really fucked up story.
I just have to say that Americans really fucked up with the Native Americans.
Oh,
they just fucked it, and they can't stop fucking it up.
Oh no,
it's insane. It's absolutely insane how narrow-minded they can be about just give the people the land back. Stop being so. I mean, okay, you can't give some of the land back because you overpopulated that land, but fucking hell, stop, dude.
The thing is, most of rural America is fucking empty anyway. There's tons of like land they could give back to the Native Americans, good farmland that they could use to like form their own societies.
Or build casinos.
Build casinos.
That's the smartest idea that the Native Americans ever had.
Very good idea. Yeah.
Just make it. Let's just get this white folk. Waste their fucking money in our casinos.
Roll up, and give me the fucking cash back, like that.
Exactly much. Like that was whoever came up with that idea. Absolutely brilliant.
Very controversial within the Native American community. But I think it's a good idea. Yeah.
I mean, just scam the fuck out of the fucking white man.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as if you owe them anything. Like, literally nothing.
They kind of owe you.
Yeah. So, yeah, after Wounded Knee happened, the sort of practice, like, fizzled out because, obviously, the ghost dance did not bring Jesus back to, Rapture or the natives up to heaven, unfortunately. So, after the Wounded Knee Massacre, it sort of, fizzled out. But there are still like small pockets who sort of follow that ancient, not an ancient tradition, but they follow the old way and still do ghost dancing in like private settings. It's just not a big public thing like it used to be anymore.
Oh, fair enough. I mean,
that was one of the more interesting ones I found because, colonized people adopting the colonizer's religion, that happens quite a lot. But like getting so into it that you believe in the rapture, that's interesting.
Probably smoked a really strong pipe that night.
Yes.
And then he had vivid dreams.
Very vivid dreams.
He woke up and he wrote them down as soon as did you notice that? You remember your dreams for like a minute after you wake up? And you should just write it down.
You really should, because it's like, that's why people keep dream diaries. It's just fun because you won't remember them by the end of the day. So
it might be really cool shit.
It might be very cool shit indeed. You might have more ideas and more creativity if you do that. Give it a try. So, remember we mentioned the Mormons earlier?
Yeah.
They're back.
Of course they are.
Because Joseph Smith, the main man of being a Mormon, he predicted that the world would end in 1891. So not only do like the splinter Mormons have a doomsday prophecy, the regular ones do as well.
Oh, that's nice to be inclusive.
Yeah, see, everyone gets their own share of the doomsday prophecy.
It's very nice of them.
No, 1891 didn't happen. The next sort of like, okay, there was several that over the sort of early 20th century, but most of them were sort of like considered fringe. They weren't particularly influential people, you know. But there was tons and tons of people like, you know, spouting doomsday, especially when radio came along.
Oh.
Now we're getting into the more modern stuff, and by modern I mean backed by massive amounts of money. So, have you ever heard the name Herbert Armstrong?
Sounds familiar.
Vaguely familiar, but this is a man who basically invented the modern concept of the televangelist, and he did it with radio sermons.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fucking hate that guy.
Yeah. Like the whole, he was like the first guy to set up basically a mega church, like a televangelist sort of network of like money grifting, basically. Like 10% of your income has to go to the church as tithe, you know, that kind of thing. There's a bunch of different rules about how and when you're supposed to give the church money.
Yeah.
You know, people would donate, you know, whilst he was doing radio shows, that kind of thing.
You know, I don't believe in heaven and hell, but I think if hell exists, there's a special kind of place for those people.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
and I really hope so. Like, there's a special kind of place.
It's in the Ten Commandments, man. Do not take the Lord's name in vain. And I'm pretty sure God would, you know, be pissed off at you using his name to make shitloads of money out of poor, gullible people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rich man, hard to get into heaven and all that. So Herbert decided he would try to break the previous record set by Charles Hayes Russell of the Jehovah's Witnesses by predicting the end of the world 4 times. He didn't quite get there, you know, but he lived until the age of about 93. So his first prediction was in 1935 that the world would end and the rapture would happen and all the sinners would be left on earth and, you know, the good Jesuits would be sucked up into heaven. 43, he made a prediction again. Then for 1972, given it a good sort of 29-year gap there for some reason.
Because he didn't want to put the effort into it. Because he probably had to play a lot of defense after the second one. Being like, oh no, man, I know I said that. But I went back to the board. Right? and I crunched the numbers. And, you know, I found this new thing. And, you know, there was an axis that was wrong when I put it in. And this is what came up now. Some
of these guys have, like, especially towards, like, the more modern ones, have hilarious excuses for why they got the numbers wrong. We'll get into that in a sec. But yeah, 4 times he predicted the end of the world. As he was doing that, he was building quite a significant televangelist sort of money empire, you know? He was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So after the last sort of 2 in 72 and 75, he sort of said, it's not for me to know. I guess I must have got some numbers wrong, but it's going to happen soon. It's going to happen very soon. Promise.
At some point.
It's happened just over there.
It's coming.
It'll happen before I die, and then he died. So, obviously, he did not get to meet Jesus.
But you know,
either.
There's always the theory, right? All of them actually happen, but on such a small scale, we don't actually know about it. So it's just like one guy got into heaven, everybody else didn't. Yeah. We're still living on the same hell, but we don't actually realize it.
There was like one guy who like herded sheep in a cave in like Tibet.
And that's the only dude that actually got in. And the rest of us, we're actually in hell. And all this is just a reality that was built by a matrix out of complex, which is the devil that controls it. Like, I'm just saying, did you ever think of that? Because
it's true.
Every single other one after the first one, they're actually just another guy gets in. so it's like what, 60, 70 times that the world ended?
I would contest that it hasn't happened. And No, for one simple reason.
Which is what?
No trumpets.
You're right. There was no trumpet.
I have not heard any trumpets, you know? Until I start hearing trumpets, then...
The trumpets are heard only by the person that goes up. He's the only one that hears it, and because he heard the trumpet, he went up.
So it's only the righteous can hear the trumpet.
Exactly.
You see how easy this stuff is? We could just start a new thing right now.
Should we start the cult, Bill?
We're actually going to start a cult.
Let's start the cult. Yes.
Allegedly,
it's not a cult. It's actual religion.
It's real.
Yeah.
God came to me in a dream in some shit, and he spoke to me in a coffee cup. There we go. So, after this, during the 1960s, there was another attempt by, returning champions of this little thing, the Seventh-day Adventists.
Oh, hey, welcome
They came back,
yeah.
they looked at the writings of Miller, many, many years, previously, and they determined, the thing that he got wrong was he forgot to mention, he forgot that Noah, in the book of Genesis or whatever, preached for 120 years. So if you add that number 120 onto the previous prediction, your eyes are like widening with.
No, I just felt stupidity come out of my eyes.
I'm just seeing like psychic damage. It's great.
Yeah,
but so they thought that Miller had been right. He'd just been 120 years off exactly, which happened to make it 1964.
Let me guess.
No,
just one guy went up.
It was just one guy again.
Just one guy went up.
Yeah, that's a really, really stupid sort of like, example of how this numerology shit really works. It's just adding random numbers together.
So I was thinking about you mentioning numerology. Theoretically, I don't know how, I might be completely fucking wrong, right? But theoretically, the year that Jesus Christ, that we started calculating our calendar, which Christianity started calculating the calendar that we were operating on, because it's before Christ and after Christ sort of calculations, right? We made up that number, right? We decided this is the first year. We decided as a society that's the first year of Jesus Christ. We're 2025 years into this bullshit, right? So that means technically you can't really calculate it because we made up the number. The number wasn't given by God. Like, if you would be
Lord
religious,
did not speak and say,
God didn't say,
shall be 365 days.
Just so you know, this is London time. First year London time, just calculate the rest of it.
You haven't read the Book of Time Zones?
Yeah, exactly.
The Gospel according to...
No, I'm just saying, right? So even if they make all their loving calculations, they would be wrong.
True.
They could be making calculations. They might be all the same year, but they all calculate from the wrong point.
That's true.
There you go.
It's very
Rapture's
true.
Coming next year.
2026, baby. Let's go.
Join our religion now for a massive discount. It only costs you £12 a month for the next year, and we will guarantee you you will get into heaven.
Certainly will.
This is a guarantee. It's a Bill and Andre guarantee.
Also, we're setting up a charity. It's called BillyandAndresUseStuff.com. If you have some things that you would like to donate in order to be charitably accepted into heaven, we're taking cars, computers, mobile phones. No houses, please. I can't really shift real estate. I've got bad credit. To take a little break from the Christians for a second, though, I thought this was a word that was made up by H.P. Lovecraft. Apparently, it's a real thing that people actually called themselves. The New Age Theosophists.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Lovecraft came up with that word in one of his books and then people just nicked it, or if it was like a thing before Lovecraft. But the New Age Theosophists are sort of like people who take basically a Christian nerd who went to philosophy school and then just applied it to Christianity.
So it would make no sense.
Very fucking weird bunch of people, yes.
Because it wouldn't make, because you're applying philosophy to
another philosophy.
Yeah, to something that's illogical.
Yeah, you're trying to apply like rational sort of Western philosophies, like utilitarianism or whatever, to Jesus, and it's not. Without the magic, Jesus doesn't really work. So
pretty much, yeah.
So the New Age Theosophists predicted through a bunch of calculations and New Age bullshit and ley lines and whatever, they predicted that Jesus would return, not that the world would end, but that Jesus would return in 1982. So he could still be alive now.
Yeah.
He would be, 50 nearly? Like 40 odd something? I don't know.
Dude, isn't it the dude that we met at the pub the other day?
Oh, shit.
It might have been him.
He was born in 1982.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, we got some searching questions to ask our pub friends.
We have to go. We have to go to the pub after this.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, that's it. It's for research purposes.
Yeah. I have to say apologies to my beautiful partner who's listening to this, but we will have to go to the pub after this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have to go figure this out.
We're hunting Jesus. I'm sure they would understand.
We're gonna be in so much.
What I liked about the New Age Theosophist who came up with this was his absolutely fantastic name, which was Benjamin Cream.
Oh,
I just like that name. It's
you
Benjamin
think he
Cream.
uses that one in the bedroom?
Hey, you want to get Benjamin creamed?
No, he goes to her like, Benjamin is here. You're gonna get creamed.
Am I
Is
well,
the guy
part-
still alive? Are we making fun of someone that's still alive?
Oh yeah, probably. This is 1982, man. And I don't think
fuck.
he's dead yet.
Benjamin, I'm so sorry. That was
Yeah.
horrible.
Allegedly, we made fun of you.
That's not how that works. Because we did make fun of him.
We're
It's
making
not
up our own
alleged.
religion, Andre. This is how it works. We decide how it works.
Okay, cool.
You know. What I liked also about besides Benjamin Cream's wonderful name, is his excuse for why it failed, and also his description of how how Jesus would make himself known by telepathically overshadowing the world of man. Basically, he would mind control or speak mentally to everybody at once.
That's so cool.
I know, right?
I like that.
That's like some 40k psycho shit,
It's basically he's describing what he would do.
Just literally, he's like
Because
contacting
the Emperor
warp.
is coming. We just have to wait another 40,000 years, but the Emperor is coming.
He is the Emperor is the Emperor rules.
Oh hell, the Emperor.
Oh hell. Yeah. So the excuse that he gave when this naturally didn't happen was that we were not ready for the love of God to be transferred upon us yet.
But he's not wrong.
I suppose not.
The Emperor will not show up for another 40,000 years. He just waits for us to fail so badly that he will come in and rescue all of us.
Then why do they fight to begin with? Whatever.
No, because what happened? You want to talk 40k right now?
No.
Okay, cool.
This the real life stuff is just as insane.
Yeah, let's not go 40k.
One of these days we will though. Cool. So that was the. We weren't ready for God's love in 1982. Then we get, as the 80s, being the money worshipping decade and the decade where a lot of the worst shit we see sort of began. A lot of people started coming out of the woodwork in the 80s. One fella was called Edgar Weinhauserman.
Is he German?
No, he's American. He just has a German last name.
So you might have been German heritage.
Oh, yeah, probably. Benjamin Franklin would have hated the guy.
Wow.
It's true. Yeah, Benjamin Franklin said the Germans were too swarthy for the Americas. And Benjamin Franklin was a fruitcake. He was interesting. So yeah, he wrote a book that was entitled, very confidently, 88 Reasons Why the Rapture is probably going to be in 1988. Now,
he had to think of 88 things.
Yeah, exactly. He had to steal and misinterpret 88 whole different Bible verses, look at world events. It was well, you see, the commies are he was making mad shit up. But he marketed it in a very, very clever way. What he did was he sent it for free via the mail to every single televangelist and TV radio pastor that he could think of. All the talk radio hosts all across the States. So all of them started talking about it at once, and his book sales went through the fucking roof.
Yeah, because everybody was curious.
Everybody wanted to see what these reasons were.
That's why, it happened to me. That's why I read the Satanic Bible, because it was sold to me as this is the real shit. And I was 16, and I'm like, oh my fucking God, this is the real shit. This is the truth. And then you read the footnote saying it's not real shit.
Of course it's not.
But you buy the book and you're like, oh my God, this is so exciting. I need to hide it away from mom. Mom shouldn't see this. And it's a great read. It's a good, it's all right fantasy. I read better.
We'll do a review of it one day. Salman Rushdie, we're coming for you. We're going to actually review your book as fiction and see how it holds up. But no, the... Obviously, when the book was released, it was I think it was 1985 when he released it or whatever. By 1988, a lot of people who bought the book were having something of a buyer's remorse because the rapture didn't happen. Oh. And so he updated it with one of my favorite excuses of all of this. He said, sorry, in my calculations, I forgot to include the fact that there was a year 0, the year Jesus was born.
If that didn't come to the mic, that was just me slapping my forehead.
Yeah, it didn't happen in 1989 either. So then he updated it to 1993, and he didn't really bother giving an excuse.
So
wait,
1993?
Yeah,
because the first one was 1989.
1988. Then, sorry, I missed out year 0, so it's actually 89. Then. It's fuck it, it's 1993, I guess. It's probably just a few years out, sorry. Something about the calendar swap between the Julian and Gregorian calendar, whatever.
So, again, goes back to mine. He just didn't get our dates right, as in when year 0 was.
Yeah.
Because we made up that date.
Because he forgot that there was a year 0. That's the most obvious thing you would include in your calculation, right?
No, because I wouldn't count that. Yeah, go on. Yes, Billy, because we're not going to reach the end of your page.
Oh, I've still got several more, like, example. Like, that's the thing. These are just, like, some of the interesting ones. These are the ones I think have got, like, a bit of flavour to them. The list is even longer, and that's just the Wikipedia list I was going down. There's probably infinitely more random, like, Facebook bloggers and YouTubers these days who are just cracking off with, like, insane theories about the Rapture coming.
So do you actually have... what happened with the TikTok thing then? It just fizzed out?
Well, they're still coping about it on TikTok now and making up new dates, and everyone's sort of like, wishing they hadn't sold their shit, and being very smug and condescending to everyone who's like doubting them and said, well, we'll get to what they're doing in a bit. So yeah, then next after that, there was the founder of a group called the Christian Radio, I think it's the Family Radio, basically. It's a Christian radio organization. Something like 250 stations, something like that.
Okay.
Massive globe, national enterprise.
Christian rock is massive.
Christian rock kind of is, yeah.
That's not even a joke.
No,
that's a statement. Christian rock is massive.
Nothing that they said in that South Park episode was wrong. Literally, that's completely true.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's also the worst music in the entire world, but there you go.
I don't even know any Christian rock bands. Do I know any?
I went on a mission to find like some decent Christian. You probably heard of POD, right?
I did. Well, hurry up. Yeah.
Incubus, maybe.
No.
Incubus, I think, were Christian at one point. I forget which ones like became Christian later and which ones stopped being Christian.
So I just literally looked it up. Skillet. Nope, never heard of them.
I think I've heard of Skillet.
Striper. 1,000-foot crotch. Is that the crotch or how you say that word?
1,000-foot crutch, yeah.
Yeah, it's
not
a crotch.
crotch.
It's a crotch. It's basically a crotch, isn't it?
Imagine being a Christian band calling yourself 1,000-foot dick. I totally should do that. I'm going to start that band. Like, anyone who wants to sing for me, let me know.
I'll write you the lyrics, Billy.
Oh, please do. So yeah, the founder of Family Radio, the Christian radio mega conglomerate, he predicted that it would end in 1994. I would say that the world did end in 1994 because that's when Kurt Cobain shot himself.
Oh.
But I just want to hear what else he would have made, man. That was the death of Jesus for me.
Wow, dude.
It's true. But they also... They're a very particular sect of Christianity, these guys. Specifically, they are Calvinists. Do you know anything about Calvinists?
I heard that terminology of Calvinist. Something about some sort of book.
Calvin was a 19th or 18th century... No, I can't remember what fucking century he was in. He is an old-timey philosopher who was big founder of the Puritan movement. The Puritan movement being, if you so much as look at a woman's tits, then you deserve to be, pitchforked in hell, and there's nothing you can do. There's no redemption. Unless you are pure, you are not saved.
I actually know a guy that's Calvinist. Now that you said it.
Really?
Yeah. Never mind.
I wonder what he says. What he was going to say when he hears this.
We don't talk religion.
Okay, good. But yeah, the Christian radio family thing fell off quite a bit after 2011 because they predicted the Rapture. Three times in 1 year.
Listen, you could do such a good cult if you just stop predicting the Rapture.
I know, right? It's like these people keep building like minefields for them to run across. I don't know why they do.
Why would you complicate your life? Why do you need that? You could come up with other shit. You can say that Jesus Christ is coming, right? Listen. Hear me out. You can just say Jesus Christ is coming, right? Go in the back room, shack for a little bit, get a baby out, right? And say this is Jesus Christ. And like, I never touched that woman in my life. She was a virgin. And then, boom, there you go. And you Jesus Christ, you start a new whole thing. And all of a sudden, you have a Jesus Christ.
They actually did
Kill
that.
him off at 32.
They actually did that in South Korea. It's Park Ji-moon, I believe his name was. The Moonies, the Moonie cult. Have you ever seen those guys?
Okay, it's already done.
Yeah. The mass marriages. Look up the videos of that.
Yeah, I heard about the mass marriages.
Yeah, there's 20,000 people in a stadium or whatever, and they're all getting married at the same time. It's fucking it's madness.
I mean, that's a cheap wedding, though.
It's an interesting cult to look into. It is a very cheap wedding, except you have to give all your income to the church.
They're not a cheap wedding.
Yeah. Being in a cult is not cheap, as it turns out. speaking of people who made predictions in 2011 specifically, a fella called Ronald Wineland. I'm not sure if he's related to Eddie Wineland, the MMA legend, but I doubt he is. He predicted it would end in September of 2011. Then when that didn't happen, he predicted it would end in May of 2012. And then he predicted it would, when that didn't happen, he predicted it would happen in May of 2013. But you know what happened before May of 2013? He got arrested for tax evasion. And served 3.5 years in prison.
That's why it didn't happen, because he was in prison.
Yeah, maybe that's why.
Because he wasn't there. So J-Man was up there looking down. He's like, where is he?
Oh, shit, I can't see the guy.
I can't see the guy. I can't come down now.
I can't perceive through other objects. Like, obviously, this roof of this building is blocked my sight.
Yeah, so I can't see him,
Because I'm not supernatural in any way, so I can't see through it.
Yeah, so I'm not coming down, so leave it for another time.
And the funny thing is, once he was out of prison, he predicted it would happen in 2019.
Of course it is, because he was like, and then something else happened. He was probably on the loo, and it was supposed to happen.
Yeah, he was taking a really bad shit, and Jesus was
like,
now's your moment. Again?
You're not here. So
he's taking a shit. Come on, Dad, I'm not doing it today. Like,
yeah, no, that smells.
Give him another few years.
Give him a few years.
I think, as you may have noticed a sort of trend, like, developing along, like, these sort of, as things become more and more modern. One trend you'll notice is that the more and more modern it is, the more obvious it is to do with money. Like, the more obvious of a grift it is. Like, these guys are, like, running businesses, televangelist shit, owning radio stations, pumping out sermons for all the good Christians of America to hear. These are the more and more this sort of grift keeps happening, the more obvious a grift it is. That sort of brings us to today, really, where this fella in South Africa wanted to try and get some clout on the internet by telling the internet that the rapture was going to happen, and enough TikTokers believed it to make it into a trend. 300,000 or something posts of people, saying, this is how you prepare for the rapture. Here's some tips. Make sure you're wearing clean underwear, because you have to take all your clothes off when you go up to the rapture.
What?
Yeah.
Well, does it matter? Because you shed your mortal body when you go into the heavens, so it doesn't matter. You could have shit stains down your foot, down all the way down to your foot, because it doesn't matter. You shed your mortal body. I'm not religious, but I'm just saying, do your homework, guys, because that's what happens.
But they did do their homework. They read the one book they're allowed to read. And apparently in Paul says, I think it's Paul. Is it the book of Paul? I can't fucking remember. But they... apparently, in order to meet the Lord properly, you must be cleansed, including your underwear. Where the Mormon magic underwear thing comes from?
Yeah.
It comes from that bit of the Bible, that thing that Paul said, or possibly in a letter to the Corinthians or some shit. Like, I don't know. Like, something about cleansing your body, wearing clean underwear when you get raptured up to heaven. I don't know.
Were they so dirty that he had to actually put that as an amendment in his list of things you should do?
I mean, he lived in, like, 100 AD, dude. So, yeah, washing machines weren't really a thing then. Yeah. Neither was underwear, really,
So, that was a misinterpretation of the book.
Obviously a misinterpretation of the Bible, by 16th century translators, as usual. Yeah. So, at the moment, this 23rd of September, you may remember, no rapture obviously happened. The amount of people selling shit, giving their shit away, it's very hard to determine because there's not many people.
Probably half of it is fake. So
yeah, half of it's fake. But there are a lot of people who gave rapture tips. Here's how to, make sure to laminate a note and leave it in your pocket for all the sinners in your family to find.
So what? So was the earth just going to be destroyed, or sinners will stay on earth?
The sinners will stay on earth. This is a thing that wasn't present at the beginning of this long list of people I sort of went down. It was used to be the Christians will get taken to heaven. It doesn't say anything about what happens to everybody else.
Oh, dude, that's fine. Just take them all.
Yeah,
that's fine. Just take them all.
Bye.
We're going to build a society on just being rational.
Yeah, I mean...
And then every 20 years, we're going to make a new code. A whole bunch of them, they can go back to heaven or go into heaven, and then more rationality. Dude, it's a great idher.
I know,
it's
right?
It's a great idea. I almost said the worst thing I could say. Just drink the Kool-Aid and leave me alone.
Oh, that has bad implications, dude. Don't make threats of genocide on here.
I am not. They will do it to themselves. I do not touch this.
That's also up against the YouTube terms of service.
Fuck.
So... yeah, a lot of this sort of stuff kind of recycles itself. But as the sort of Rapture lore, I don't want to call it theology because it's not. It's just lore. As the Rapture lore sort of developed, more and more you get this sort of sense of, well, yes, us Christians get sucked up to heaven, and the sinners will be cursed to a world of fire and demons and be marked by the devil, and they shall know him by his name, and his name is suffering. It gets much more fire and brimstone the further along you get. One, because of the money. And
yeah, because fear just makes money.
It does. And it also sort of provides, I think, one of the reasons. I've got a list of reasons here. My own personal theories, You asked me, why does this keep happening?
Yeah.
Why does this keep happening, and why does it keep happening to the same people? Because a bunch of these guys made several wrong predictions, and they've still built massive followings. Massive followings that survived over 100 years. How? I think a big part of it, especially in the modern era, is to do with spite. It's to do with spite and entitlement. America in particular is very vulnerable to this, because America itself was founded by, embittered Christians with a persecution complex.
Yeah, true.
Puritan pilgrims that we kicked out of our country, basically, because we couldn't be asked to deal with them, and just said, go over to the colonies, you weird, racist, religious zealot fuckwits. Go, be gone. No, we won't let you beat your women, to death for, showing their ankles or whatever.
No,
Fuck off.
we won't let you beat your women here.
Yeah.
In the colonies.
You can do whatever, man.
If I can't see it, never happened.
To be fair, the initial colony missions, where we sent Puritans over there or whatever, it was kind of a suicide mission anyway.
Yeah, because there was nothing there, so you never had enough food to get there. Hence, you got there, you had no food left. If you didn't scrunch up some food for the first winter, you're dead.
Yeah, you're dead.
You're dead. Yeah, it's
most of these guys, the original Puritans that founded America, were fucking morons. A lot of those early settlements failed because they would show up, with lots of boots and shoes and clothes and things like that. No farming equipment, no animals, no livestock, no... not even seeds to plant, really.
A lot of people misunderstand because you think there's a field here, I can just farm it. Actually, there's rocks in that field. There's so much crap. There's a forest in the way where the good land is.
Yeah.
So you have to take out all the trees, take out all the stumps, and then you start farming. So it takes you about 5 years to actually get a land from zero to actually farmable.
Yeah.
It's insane for people thinking that, we're gonna go build a colony in America, or somebody sold them a really good fucking idea.
Yeah, they did.
The
founding of America is an interesting story, but it was founded basically by religious nutjobs. Kind of the same with South Africa, not Australia necessarily, because we just sent prisoners there.
Yeah, but we didn't want them anyway.
No, exactly. But a lot of the sort of overseas colonies, that white people founded were basically the most religious and the most insane amongst us. The ones who are well, this society is, even though it's catered entirely for me, this society is too restrictive. I don't want to pay taxes, so they fucked off. And started their own country with blackjack and hookers. Or in this case, extreme religious zealotry and genocide of the Native Americans. That's why I think most of this stuff happened in America, because they have a culture that's sort of amenable to the kind of spite, I'm taking my ball and going home sort of vibe.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the Rapture is for modern Americans anyway. It seems to be you might laugh at me for being a Christian on the internet. Haha. You might think that my ideas are stupid and I'm just a sheltered homeschooled jerk who's never interacted with other human beings. But on this day of history, the Lord will come down. He will smite you personally and I will be sent to heaven. That's kind of the vibe for most of it. It's this smug sense of entitlement and spite and bitterness,
Isn't it that our brains are meant to make us feel like we're the main character in a video game?
Yeah.
And everybody has this, so that's that main character sort of syndrome, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot of that involved in there. So it makes you feel and then some people don't realize you're actually just no one.
Yeah.
You're literally, we're all nobodies in the bigger picture, because the world would move in a certain direction with you there or without you there. So
and it creates this sort of motivated reasoning, right? You start looking for things to justify what you already believe, because it makes you feel good to justify what you already believe. It makes you feel good.
And it's easier, right?
It's easy.
And actually changing your opinion about things.
The motivated reasoning part of it is the main sort of driving force, but then you get into the question of, how do these people still believe in anything after they've believed that the the end times were coming and then they didn't show up, how do people carry on believing in the cults? How do these cults keep growing? One guy who asked a very similar question back in the 50s was a guy called Leon Festinger, one of the most important sort of cognitive psychologists who ever sort of existed. And he looked at one of these end times cults. I can't remember which one, but he was looking at them he wrote his paper in 1957, so there was some, there was tons of shit in the 50s that we probably missed over. They were just regular doomsday cults.
Yeah.
But he went around interviewing these guys and say, well, what do you do now? What do you do now that the time has come and gone and it hasn't happened? And he discovered like 3 sort of coping mechanisms that people use, like, to avoid changing their behavior. Because sometimes people do change their behavior. But sometimes if they don't want to change their behavior, they do one of 3 other things. They either reduce the value of the cognition, like, okay, so the prophet said that it was going to be June the 14th, it's now June the 17th. Obviously, he wasn't a prophet. Obviously, the real prophet is somewhere else, they obviously, what he said wasn't really, important. A lot of these guys said, when their dates were missed, that wasn't really like the rapture. That was just the beginning of the rapture. This is the beginning of a process.
So it's a build-up.
Yeah. See, now we're in the end. This is the beginning of the end game, but the actual trumpets haven't sounded yet.
It's insane.
So they reduce the value of their prediction, right? Then they start, again, adding more predictions. So like, well, obviously we haven't been, we haven't purged the world of sin enough yet, so we need to carry on doing that to try and, we have to be more pure and less sinful, and then the rapture will happen at a certain date that will work out in the future. That's, you add cognitions, you add things. And then the third and final one is just to ignore the information entirely. And this is the one that I think is the most relevant to the modern age.
Just deny the thing that you already said?
Just gaslight people, basically. Gaslight yourself. Say, that's not true. I never actually said that. I was talking about something completely different. Like, just ignore the information flat out.
I know you sold your house, your horse, and your cat, but you misunderstood me.
Yeah, I did.
Why would you do that?
I never said
Did I actually tell you to do that?
I never said 100% that it was going to happen. I only suggested it would be good for your immortal soul if you would be charitable before the big day.
Yeah, which is in 60 years from now. Good luck living.
Yeah, that's...
Can I have some money?
My Patreon is, a lot of the time, these people are... If they're online especially, they're usually making money off it. They're usually grifting. They're usually, trying to raise some sort of money. But of the people who have believed it, I think a lot of people, and, this is going to sound really classist and really sort of mean, but a lot of this takes place in rural America for a reason. And that's because rural America is a fucking blighted cultural wasteland with nothing in it. I'm sorry, rural Americans, if you're listening to this, but you probably agree.
Billy, people already think you have a posh voice. Can you stop saying shit like that?
I'm sorry. Do I sound like a colonial officer gloating over like...
Can you stop? People already say you have a very posh voice. Can you stop doing that?
I do have a posh voice, and I'm going to be more classist. It's going to sound better because I have a posh voice for it. I've got exactly the kind of voice that would spit on the troops of World War I. That's exactly what I am.
Wow, dude. Wow.
I'm joking. I wouldn't spit on the troops of World War I. They'd actually probably ask me to because it would be cleaner than the mud of the trenches. But no, if you've ever been to like rural America or been across rural America or seen photos of rural America, you can try this at home, actually. Play along with me. Go to Google Street View. Find a small town in like Pennsylvania, rural Texas, pick anywhere really. Washington State, like the bit with the big redwoods, Oregon, whatever. Find a rural American town and walk around in Street View looking for something to do. You will not find shit. If you're lucky, you will find a couple of sports bars and a bowling alley. That's basically it for most of these small American towns.
So they just need something to do.
Yeah, you know how like they say in English villages?
That's why they're the perfect people to join our next cult.
We're going to go from from like, the suburbs of Illinois to down south to West Texas.
All of them. I am taking all of them. We don't even take big donations. It's only £12 a month for the rest of your life. It's fine.
We signed a 100-year contract.
No. 10,000 years. Your children will automatically be enrolled in the program.
It's not slavery if you sign the contract.
Yeah, it's fine. And children get the discount to the age of 18. It's only £7 a month. It's a bargain.
But yeah, if you've ever been like through rural America, there's fuck all to do there. Like, there is no culture. There is like large houses separated by huge gardens and land that isn't used for anything. Barely anybody lives there. These small towns of like 30,000 take up the same space as like, the entire south coast of the United Kingdom. I'm not joking when some of these places are also dry counties, places where you can't even drink. So
what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
The fuck, man.
The joke about...
That's disgusting. That's why they should join our club.
We're protesting the dry county. Yeah, good luck with that. We'll get shot. These places are in Texas, dude. I don't...
We can get guns.
Yeah, that's called an armed insurrection. I'm not sure if we and you are the right guys to be leading that. Let's go through basic first.
Let's just get people to sign up for all.
The point is, the joke about English villages is that there's more pubs there than people. In America, it's the same, except with churches. There's more churches than people in some of these places.
But you can't drink in a church. It's not as fun.
No, you can't drink in church. It's a sacrilege against the Lord, I'll have you know. So they... But because these people are so fucking bored and there's nothing to do, and all they are is Christian cultists who only like social activities, going to church, talking with other people who are, similarly brainwashed, being quite racist about people they don't know, supporting Trump, that kind of thing. I think the reason that they voted for Trump is the same reason they fall for this Rapture shit all the time. It's because they're bored. They've got nothing to do.
So they just want to see their country burn.
You want to see the country burn. They want the people who mock them online for being Christians living in buttfuck nowhere. They want those people who mock them online in their imagination to suffer. That's what they want. That's why they voted for Trump. That's why they carry on with this rapturous, evangelical bullshit so they can feel part of something, so it makes them feel good. It's the same reason that these rural areas have serious heroin and fentanyl problems.
Oh, that and it's cheap.
Yeah, that and it's cheap. But it's a cheap thrill, and there's fuck all else for thrills around there. Moving out is expensive. A lot of these people might not have the money necessarily to move.
Along, yeah.
Yeah. And the ones that do are usually the ones with enough power and a stable family or whatever that they enjoy abusing. So they don't want to, they don't want to change their lives. Change takes effort,
Yeah, that's true.
There are very few people who are sort of, brave and fearless enough to look at their entire family who's in the Mormon church or the Seventh-day Adventists or even Jehovah's Witnesses sometimes. I mean, it takes a lot to look at your entire family, everything you ever known, and just say, yeah, I'm done with that. Yeah. I'm never speaking to any of you people again.
Well, you do see cases of people actually getting out of these places. As in Scientology, for example, you see people talking about how hard it was for them to get out of there.
Yeah.
It's the same sort of thing.
It's very similar indeed, yeah. They will cut you off. They will cut you off financially. They will cut you off socially. They will tell, your entire hometown not to talk to you again. Because all of these people fucking talk to each other at church, And because of this sort of miserable existence that these people are sort of forced to stay in, they become suckers. They become easily manipulated. They don't go to university. They don't have higher education. They don't have access to it. They don't want access to it.
Yeah, still fucking taking a dig at me, dude. What the fuck?
Oh, no, dude.
I'm joking.
Shut up. Making this personal. The point is, if you find yourself in living a really lonely, isolated existence, it's the same thing as those guys who go and shoot up schools or, assassinate political figures or whatever. They're loners who don't speak to anybody. So my advice, if there's a moral lesson to be learned here from this giant parade of scams and the people who've fallen for it, make sure your life is rich, man. Make it rich with culture, rich with new things. Never stop being curious,
Yeah.
Never get stuck in a rut for too long. And if you find yourself stuck in a rut and you're unsatisfied with your life, don't go joining some fucking cult to try and make yourself feel better, because it has consequences for the rest of us, man.
Which is true. But on that idea, just join our cult.
Sorry. Join the Billy and Andre cult. We're having our first meeting this Sunday. Bring your own beer.
Bring us beer.
Bring us beer. No sharing beer with each other. Just bring it for us. And make sure you have your first donation made available to
be collected in person.
Yeah, in person. But we take cash. You know, it avoids the tax man. Anyway, let's leave that here for today, dude. Hopefully, by the time this comes out, we would have not been proven wrong, and the rapture will have begun. And
if it would have been proven wrong, it would have been done already. Who cares? At that point, who cares?
We're already marked with the beast or whatever, dude.
Yeah,
so I'll see you in the trenches when we're fighting the hordes of Satan.
I'll see you down there.
See you down there, dude. And for the rest of you, like and subscribe. Join our cult.